The second message I would like to share is from a diasporan king from America. Now watch.
Some of you are not going to like what I'm about to say, and even more of you are going to misconstrue what I'm saying. You see, if America were to go to war with China tomorrow, every person of Asian descent will be placed in internment camps, just like they placed the Japanese in internment camps when America bombed Hiroshima. You see, they understand the threat and the loyalty of the Asians to their own people. Whenever America attacks countries in Africa like Somalia or the Caribbean, no black person is placed in any internment camps because they understand black people are always fighting for their American right. They want to be American so bad it doesn't matter. They would even send Africans and Caribbean people to kill their own people in Africa, in the Caribbean, on behalf of America. We pose absolutely no threat to white imperialism, which is one of the main reasons why they see us as insignificant in their society. Until we realize we're black, we have to defend the black race on all levels, and we have to become a threat to them. Nothing's going to change for us. White unity is understood as it relates to the oppression and exploitation of black people anywhere in the world. Black division starts with, where are you from? If we're not from the same place, if we don't speak the same language, and any other little fucking reason, we want to be divided. We want to separate ourselves from our brothers and sisters, which is the most detrimental shit that we can do to ourselves, because without unity, we don't stand a fucking chance in this world. There was a time in history when African Americans volunteered to go to Ethiopia and Haiti to help fight imperialism. You understand? There was a time in history when Haitians volunteered to fight with America just so they can free the African Americans. This is why I wrote the book, A Time for Revenge, because I highlight all the history that some of you ignorant Negroes don't know about black unification. We are not going to win anything unless we stand together. A lot of people like to reach out to me to ask me where I'm from, just so they can find reasons to separate themselves from me. I'm not about that life. I'm about black unity. I don't give a fuck where you're from. I don't give a fuck what language you speak. My thing is, we're all black. That is my common ground to unite. Without the black unification, we don't stand a fucking chance against these imperialists. We have to fight together. We have to stand together. We have to love each other. Wake up.
Speaking of giant, America is another one of our children who's a giant. But America, like our son said so well, our sons in America, they have been too busy trying to have a room in the house, in the master's house, the house they built for the master. They're still fighting just to try to get a room in the house. But the master has been keeping them in the barn. They're not satisfied with it. But they're like, we gotta get in the house of the master. Nonsense. The sons of our kings are awakening. Now what you heard is wisdom. I'm glad it came from him, because sometimes when I say things, people feel like I'm beating you, I'm like, kicking you down. I'm glad it came from one of our royals. His divine wisdom is definitely awakened. Of course, they won't put any of you in concentration camp because they know you're going to help them. They know when they lay us to slaughter us, many of you are going to hold our feet. This is how big as slaves they have made us. When they want to overthrow Africa, all they need to do is pick one of you and make them president. Is pick one of you and make them, ambassador at the UN. Is pick one of you and make them general of the army, and you will do the job. Yes, the truth hurts. That's why when the Asian community there cry, oh, black people are beating them on their rush, they made an executive order, they put money in their pocket. All these things, dignity and respect, freedom, all these things are meant to be earned. Nobody will ever give it to us, my people. So it's time to wise up. Okay, my dear children. So I encourage more of our royals out there. You saw your brother gaining courage. He said, I know that many of you will come and against, yes, because there's a culture of hating Africa.
Always in Africa. You got the African Day Parade. You don't see the Africans. You got the festival that be going on in Brooklyn. The band festival, the African festival. Where's the Africans at? When we doing our rallies and our marches, where's the Africans at on your side? Talk to us really about that, man.
See, let me tell you something. We think slavery in America was something. Slavery in Africa is still in force. You talking about deaf, blind, and dumb. Don't confuse you because somebody got on some printed cloth that's printed in Holland or India that you're looking at an African cultural expression. That's not an African cultural expression. That cloth was printed in a European country and then sold to Africans. And they've accepted that as their cloth. You understand what I'm saying? Just that piece. Now, they do speak the language, but they know less about their history than you and I do. So you've got a deaf, blind, dumb, backwards person speaking an African language, coming from the African country, came here to be a parasite on their own people with no respect for themselves as human beings, and then because they speak a language, try to make you play you off like they got something culturally that you don't have. The most culturally enforced African in the world is the African American. Most of the movements that have changed the world, that allow all ethnic nations to profit, has been our movement. And so we get peed on and played down because these people are so punked out and scared of the white man that they feel because they're scared of the white man, they got to be against us.
Are they our people, brother, or are we our own people now?
No, we got to understand two things. We have a race and then we have an ethnic place. Ethnically, we African Americans. Just like a guy from Africa, he can say he's African, but there's no country called African. He's either Nigerian, Ghanaian, Malian, or something. That's his ethnic nation. Racially, we are together, but economically, we may well be enemies. And we have to be clear on that. That our economic enemy is just that. And if you deal with your economic enemy like it's your friend, you're going to be the loser at the end of the day. Now, we raised the question of Pan-Africanism in this hemisphere. You know, you had the brothers from Trinidad, and then you had W.B. Du Bois, and we created this phenomena. But Africa has never created a Pan-African movement. You understand? Africa has never really supported a Pan-African movement. We had a couple of people in Nkrumah and Julius Nyerere and Mugabe, but most of Africa never gave a damn about a Pan-Africanism because they're still bogged down in the colonial slavery of European Judeo-Christian indoctrination, which is worse than anything that we've suffered. Worse than anything that we've suffered. The illusion of the clothes and the language make us think we're dealing with somebody that has some African purity culturally and spiritually. You're dealing with a confused, backwards Christian that love Europe more than they love their own ancestors. They would not even use an African word for God. You know, in Ghana, if you talk about being a traditional African, you might get beat down in the street. You understand? You're ostracized on the radio. Movies are made to show African culture as being the devil, while Christian culture is coming in as the savior. This is TV shows and on TV in Nigeria and Ghana.
Grand Rising. These imperialists have managed to instill a type of fear in black people that forces a lot of us to second guess our own independence, self-dependency, and everything else. We always believe we have to be inclusive in order for us to survive, which is bullshit. First of all, they attack our culture by enslaving our ancestors. And now there's an endless global war to basically convert all black people to poverty. And a lot of you have accepted it. You understand? You have to remember, we have to look beyond the U.S. borders to understand the marginalization and subjugation of black people. Because everything that they use against Africa or the Caribbean is perfected here. We're the guinea pigs. They push us to our limits and see our reaction. And when we don't react, they understand this is how far they can go with us. By being inclusive, they also are able to place molds in our organizations, our governments, everything to control us. And that mold doesn't necessarily have to be white. It could be a Negropean. This is why we must unite on a global level to fight white imperialism, because white imperialism is all about the destruction of black people worldwide. Until we understand that shit, We're never gonna win against these fucking devils.
So I'm finna tell y'all something that just kills the fuck out of me. Black folks from other countries. And when I say other countries, I mean like Haiti, Africa, what have you. Tell me this right here, and I've seen this several times on this platforms just this morning. Why do y'all love to run y'all asses from y'all goddamn countries to come over here and build a better life? Y'all love to holler about, oh, we so much better than African Americans. I'm not American. I am from Africa. So we are warriors. We come over here and we get this and we get that and we take y'all asses back the fuck home then. Huh? Why do y'all bring y'all asses over here scheming and scamming and trying to goddamn coerce goddamn African American women to marry y'all so y'all can get a green card? You come over here smelling like armpits and ass, and then you love to holler about you better than us. Houseway. If you somewhat better than us, take your ass back to the dirt floors and get off the fucking linoleum in America that we laid.
There is black genocide in the USA. They are killing black people in the USA.
This is for all the black folks that keep passing around that white supremacist propaganda that Africans do not care about African Americans. Africans don't like African Americans. Africans don't want us in Africa. That is false. Stop letting them condition you with self-hatred. I would rather live in a place with issues that I'm welcome in than to be in a place with the same issues that I'm not welcome in.
Message!
TikTok, I have a question. Why do all Africans breath stink? Like, no.
So, I don't know how many Africans you've come across. You generalize the entire continent based on how many. Have you met somebody from every African country? Yet when Africans tend to stay to themselves, would like to stay, interact among ourselves, you guys say we feel like we're better than you guys in all aspects. That's what you guys say. But whereas when we try to interact with you guys, these are the type of things that we get. I remember when I came to the United States, I felt so insecure, like I felt belittled to the point where I didn't want to talk in class, because when you talk, the non-Africans, the African Americans in my class, they will say, what type of accent is that? Can you speak properly? I don't get what you're saying. Mind you, I could barely understand what they're saying too, and I speak more than 2 languages. So you guys just stop with these things. I don't know what is wrong.
There's a culture. All these guys, Umar Johnsons, Professor Smalls, they're destroying the legacy our forefathers have fought for. People like Muhammad Ali, people like Malcolm X, people like Martin Luther King, and of course our Black Panthers. They were like this with Africa. Now we see so-called activists who are pushing the hatred of Africa. So we have almost this entire generation completely infested by the hatred against Africa. Our son doesn't need to clear his throat to come and deliver such a wise message, because he knows there's going to be backlashes. But I want our children to understand, as long as you insist to remain a slave, my people, you will get the slave treatment. So wake up, okay? Wake up. We are to heal and be dignified again. It will take you to have enough pride to be like, even your citizenship, I don't care anymore. Let me go find my roots. Let me go home. Let me go to my father's house. Okay, my lovelies, we are one. One Africa, one people, one love.
Hey, yo, what's good, man? Hey, I'm gonna get straight to it, right? Hey, look. All black gangs in America need to unite and be transformed into a military brigade to protect our people from rapists, pedophiles, racist police officers, and knucklehead Negroes that don't want to get on code. Let me say that again. All so-called black gangs in America need to be transformed into a military brigade to protect our people from racist police officers, rapists and pedophiles, and knucklehead Negroes that don't want to get on code. All you niggas talking about you GD, BD, Vice Lord, Blood, Crip, Four Corner Hustler, MC Soul, BGM, motherfucking all so-called black gangs need to be transformed into a military brigade, man. Enough is enough, man. All this ops stuff, you got ops, all this shit, nigga. Nigga, we got real ops, nigga. We got real shit going on out here, man. All this shit talking about you got ops. They ain't your op, nigga. Nobody with this skin color as me is my motherfucking op, nigga. Unless you a motherfucking pedophile, nigga. Unless you a motherfucking rapist, nigga. But all so-called black gangs need to be transformed into a military brigade, man. We need to militarize. We need to unite. We need to come together. We, so-called black gangs in America, we are the army. We is the Navy. We are the fucking soldiers. We the generals. We the warriors for our nation. And you niggas still sitting around here trying to kill each other? Fuck wrong with you niggas, man? It's time to come together, man. It's time to unite, man. It's time to militarize, man. Militarize. A military brigade, man. So we can protect our people.
It is the application, not the knowledge, that the truth becomes a part of you. May you please bow your heads. I pledge allegiance to my ancestors, my people, and Africa, Ikuzuba, the empire of the sun. I ask in your favor, may the ancestors locate you. We are Amandla Abetu. Thokoza bogogo nabomkhulu. Tamaku. Makukhanye ngonaphakade.